Welcome to our interview with Talking Scarlet's Strictly Murder cast for 2017. That include Gary Turner, Brian Capron, Corin Wicks, Lara Lemon and Andrew Fettis. And the opportunity arose for Chesil Radio to meet them backstage in the Green Room at the Lighthouse in Poole. They are visiting various theatres across our area during 2017. But as a little intro into the actual play itself, it's set in Provence in April 1939. An English couple, Susie and Peter, are living in idyllic isolation, far it seems from the rumblings of the oncoming war. Their peace is suddenly shattered by a stranger from Peter's past, who unearths secrets from a buried and hidden life, which throws Susie's world into turmoil. In a world where the Third Reich is rising as a dangerous regime, deceit, lies and subterfuge make this a fast-paced thriller, a dark and nail-biting rollercoaster. And the cast list is: Joseph is played by Andrew Fettis, Peter Meredith is played by Gary Turner, Susie Hinchcliffe is played by Lara Lemon, Ross is played by Brian Capron, Miriam Miller is played by Corin Wicks, and the wireless announcer is Jan Wolver-Ravens. And the director is Samuel Clemens, and it is his first directorial debut with Talking Scarlet. Normally you'll find him acting and directing in movies, and very luckily we caught up with them in early 2017. And here's the interview, and I'll give you a little appraisal of what I thought of the play after you've heard this interview. I've got a question for each of you. I've tried to do a bit of research on everybody, so I apologise if some questions are a bit similar.
I haven't finished my gender modification yet.
Yeah. Oh, it's looking very neat.
I'm still on the hormone.
Very neat down there.
Well, I was going to say, hot flushes at the moment.
If I sound a bit butch, that'll pass. Hopefully in Act 2.
I watched Doctors from the very beginning. How does it compare being in a soap and being on stage doing a play? I know it's two completely different things, but is there one you prefer more?
I would say TV, only because I've done more of that than of this.
Would you want to do more?
I do. Yeah, I love doing screen work. Yeah. Although I love doing this too, actually, and being on the road with a group of great people is fantastic. This isn't quite the same, obviously, because we've got that group of fantastic people. But I really enjoy doing theatre. But it is, it's got. Oh damn! Gary answered this question earlier on another. I should have listened to what you said, because it probably made more sense than I'm making now.
That's okay.
But yeah, the long answer is yes. I preferred TV, but purely because I've done more.
Okay.
I feel more comfortable.
I've read through the script. Play, so I couldn't put it down, actually. I was sort of reading it and I thought, I'll cook the tea, I'll start reading it, and then I'll read it up to a certain point. And when I got to your character, I thought she was quite strong. She appears quite strong for the era. Is that something that appealed to you about the character?
Yeah, I tend to play more sympathetic characters, usually, I think. Not actually on TV. I tend to play really strong ones.
Yeah.
Theatre-wise, most of my characters have been more vulnerable, which I find much easier to play.
Yeah.
This has been much more challenging for me to play a strong woman.
She comes across as very strong, which is what I really liked when I was reading it.
Yeah.
I was thinking it's quite unusual for the era.
Absolutely.
To be that strong.
Yes. And it's just a fantastic play, as we'll all say when you ask anybody anything about it. It's the strength of the writing and the narrative that has drawn us all to it. And although it's not the biggest part at all, I desperately wanted to play Miriam, partly because it is a stretch for me, and partly because I just wanted to be involved in this. It's such an exciting project.
Yeah. Okay. I apologise for asking you individual questions, because I worked on the basis that I could ask you all at least one question.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
With you. Gary, I'm going to move to you next, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Being that you were the 31st sexiest soap star ever.
I had no idea. Never going to live that
down. Research.
on.
Really?
When did they do that?
I'm not, but it was on there.
30 murders.
31st sexiest soap star ever.
I've
done my research.
You have? Where did you find that?
I was online. I just put your name in.
I just don't see it myself.
Well, they were referring you as the silver fox on something else, which is what they call Stanfield. So
Yeah.
Do people still come up to you and think of you as your character from Emmerdale? I've had to try really hard not to call you by it, because I remember Emmerdale.
Carlos.
Yeah.
I mean, Carlos used to be a word I heard sort of every minute of every day of every hour. Not so much now.
No.
Occasionally, somebody who has a very good memory will
Yes.
go, "Oh, you played the villain." I was like, "No, I played the chef." It used to be. Yeah.
It's a bit Lothario.
You've been there. Yeah.
Didn't someone shout Carlos in a car park at you doing Jekyll and Hyde?
Yes, they did. Yes, there you go.
So, yeah, they
but
do.
that was a year ago.
Yeah, so
yeah.
even so, they still do remember.
Yeah.
It still do
Yes,
remember
no,
you.
It hangs around.
Yes.
So a little bit. Yes.
Your character comes across as very tormented soul, is the way I see it.
Yes.
And without sort of giving any secrets away of obviously the play is very difficult.
Yeah.
Are you good at keeping secrets in everyday life, and could you keep a secret for so long?
Am I good at keeping secrets in everyday life?
No.
Going now.
Really? No. I mean, yes. If somebody asks me not to say something.
Rubbish.
What have I done? If certainly not on purpose. Would
No.
I share a secret.
So would you struggle to keep a secret that
I can, succumb to just opening my mouth and talking and
Bribery.
forgetting what I'm saying, but not on purpose. I wouldn't divulge a secret on purpose.
would you have struggled keeping? Although we can't say what it is, but would you have struggled with this secret?
No. People's lives are at stake.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Andrew.
Hello.
Next on my list. I love the feel of your character. I thought it was ever so sweet and simple and sweet is how I wrote it down from reading it. And I was quite surprised when I did the research on you that I actually thought he was a bit like a Baldrick character, but without the comedy.
Yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, without the comedy element to him,
Yeah.
he just felt like that's the sort of character, nice and sweet, but
Loyal.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing
Yeah.
is, I think his great strength is loyalty and pride, and he stands by it. And like Gary, he has a secret, and he's quite capable of keeping that within his challenged condition, shall we say?
is he a challenge to play?
He was. I mean, when Sam talked about the play when we were doing Jekyll and Hyde, last year. He's a challenge to play, but he's an interesting character. There are hidden depths that you think I really like holding that inside. I really like playing that. And his relationships with other characters are on the surface, although there is hidden depths.
Well, it's your character I'm looking forward to seeing this evening, because that's of the play I actually really...
No pressure there, then.
No.
Great.
So it's your character that I really liked. It was
brilliant.
The character, I really liked the character. Yeah. Right. Lara, your turn. Reading your character is quite a naive character.
Yes, in a way.
And for some reason, it's obviously how it's written, I could guess your secret. Obviously, I can't say what it is, but I could guess your secret quite soon.
Yes.
Do you enjoy the fact that you haven't got quite the same way having to sort of hide the secret because it's already sort of there? If you work it out, I'm trying not to give anything away.
Yes, I do enjoy that.
You're not necessarily in the words. You're not hiding anything. Because if you read into it, you know what's going on.
Yeah, I feel like yes, and I feel like I'm glad that I don't have the pressure that the other characters do in terms of hiding, because everyone else has got something to hide. Actually, everyone's got something to hide at one point.
Yeah.
So in terms of what other people have got to hide, I've got something quite small to...
I also noticed that you've got a big screen and film out. Is that right?
Yeah, a little independent film.
So, film or stage? Similar question.
I don't know. I think I'd probably go for stage. I find stage easier in a way because you get rehearsal period, you get the running something for the 2 hours, you're getting the momentum up. I find it a lot harder on screen to keep that sort of focus. And also you've got an audience there, and you can sort of play off them to work out what's working and what's not working. So.
Right, Brian, you're not the last one. I've got a little question for you as well. Little one. Most people will know you for either your Coronation Street character or Grange Hill character. Everyone, when they said who I was going to see, they said, oh, it's either Grange Hill or that. I'll ask you a similar question. Do you like the live audience? Do you like the idea of soap? Because obviously same thing with soaps and things. Which do you prefer?
I love it all.
Yeah?
I don't really care. I'm just so pleased just to still be acting, to be honest. They each have their challenges. They're very technically different.
Right.
But I love stage because, as Laura said, the live nature of it and the rehearsal period, because you tend to discover quite a lot more. The problem is with television is that the rehearsal time is very short. In soap, there isn't any rehearsal really. It's very, very, very tricky, but it's a different pressure. Also in soap, it's quite nice because you have a character for a long time, so you tend to know that character so well. And when I first went into Coronation Street, I sat in the Rovers, shaking with nerves, thinking, I'm in the Rovers, I don't know what I had to say, I couldn't remember anything. But after a time, when you get used to your character, you think, there's only 10 lines, I don't even have to learn that. But you get so au fait with your character. So that's the nice thing about soap. Also, I think there are certain moments in soaps where, because everyone knows their character so well, and you occasionally get a really well-written scene, it's really fantastic and lifts the soap genre into something else.
Yes.
But of course, a lot of the time, the problem with soap is because they have to produce so many in the week, there's such a lot of pressure on them, and so storylines are repeated. There's 70-odd characters to cope with. You cannot keep up the standard. But nevertheless, it's a very good standard. All things considered, producing, say, 2.5 hours of television every week is a really difficult job. But generally, and film as well, I've been lucky to do, just a lot of the big television things that one does these days are shot on film. It used to be 35mm film, and that's a completely different technique, and you learn a lot from other people because obviously it's a much more still thing, a lot more with your eyes. You've got to be very careful not to wave your arm around too much, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I love the theatre. I started in the theatre, it's so exciting because it changes every night. It really does. It seems more unique nowadays because everybody's stuck on their phones and iPads and computers. To come out and share something with other people seems to be more of a special thing these days. And it's special for us because it literally does change according to how the audience is.
Does it change where you go location to location?
Yes, I think you do notice a big difference.
North to south, or is it just the location to location?
Yeah, I think there is kind of a bit of a north-south. The funny thing is, if you're working in the West End, a lot of your audiences tend to be foreign. Everyone says, wouldn't it be nice working in the West End? But half the time they don't really get it, Yeah. So, not all the time. Obviously, if you work in some particular, the National Theatre or something, you get much more of a home-based audience. But it's nice when you go in the provinces because people seem to really enjoy their nights out.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are investing in the theatre still, which I'm really surprised about. When I started in this business a very long time ago, I thought theatre would die out during my career. But funnily enough, it's something that a lot of towns and cities want. They want a theatre to wave a flag for culture.
You need to come down and do this in Weymouth. It's got a lovely pavilion down there.
I played Weymouth once when I was in drama school. We toured to Weymouth.
I think it's still the same.
Is it still the same place?
Nothing's changed. They're trying to get a lick of paint for it. I'm going to say thank you very much to everybody, but what I'd like is just everyone to give me... Oh, I've got your question.
My little question!
Person can have gone through all of them. Right, it is your first directorial moment with this. How does it feel to be doing one of your dad's plays?
It's great. I mean, I've directed film predominantly, so this is my first sort of
stage
debut. But I think that they help each other. I think being an actor predominantly has only helped fuel me be a director because I understand what these guys have to do, and I've played a lot of the venues these guys have played, so I know the pressures that are required. But doing something of Dan's is really nice because I've been in a few things that Dan has written, and when he was live and that he saw, which is nice. But this play particularly, I always wanted to direct because I think because I love film so much. It's got such a filmic quality to it. So I wanted to bring that to this because there are, as you've read, there are long periods where it's just action.
Yes.
And some of those pieces of action last minutes and minutes at a time. And so being able to make that as atmospheric and filmic as possible, I think is interesting. I know Dad was a huge fan of show, don't tell, and theatre is far more tell, don't show, generally speaking, because you're restricted with budget, although less so nowadays because they're doing incredible things on stage. But film, you really can just show it.
Yeah.
So he wanted to try and do that in a play and have sequences where we're watching people doing things.
Yeah.
And I think that's always very, very intriguing. But yeah, it's a complete honour to do it. And as the play's dedicated to me, my brother and my mum, it's sort of...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When I got that, I was like, yes.
I don't think he realised when he wrote it that he thought that it was as good as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think a lot of people won't remember, some people will, but he wrote a TV series called Thriller in the 70s. And there were 43 one-hour thrillers, and he wrote all of them. 43 separate thrillers. So for him, any one of those could have been a play that he could have extended. And the reason he wrote this is because he got fed up with the mobile phone and technology destroying basically what he can bring up and go, well, he did it, or we've seen the CCTV camera, so he wanted to set something in the past to, and because he was a child of the war, he knew this period quite well, so he thought that it would get rid of those problems and he could start afresh and, do what he's good at, which is keeping you guessing all the way to the end, which is what he liked doing very much.
Yeah, and very much from having read it. I mean, I only read but before I had my tea, I read it about halfway and I went, I can't put this down, I'm going to have to read the end, because I normally like to read so far and then let the rest of it play out for me rather than necessarily read it all, but this I couldn't put down.
There are a few minor elements that we've changed from the script.
Okay.
Artistic license, so you will have a few surprises along the way.
Yeah.
But I think there are things that have more continuity throughout, and I think Dad would have appreciated it. And I think it gives it more of a, I suppose, a filmic quality to it. Okay.
Right. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to ask you all just to give me one word of why someone would want to come along and see it. Or two. One or two words.
Well, I'll go first then. Witty.
Witty. Okay.
I'm in it.
That's fine.
Silly word.
All right.
That was going to be Brian's one.
Suspense.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Oh, I like that.
I'm going to have to do a short phrase, which is edge of your seat.
Yes. Very good.
Or as the producer likes to say, you pay your ticket is for your whole seat, but you'll only need the edge of it.
Very good, that. Yeah, very good. I like that. Well, I'm going to say thank you very much for spending a few minutes, a little while with me, actually. I do appreciate it. I've got a little something for you all, because you're not at the seaside, but I've come from the seaside, so I've got a stick of rock for everyone.
Thank you very much.
But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Very much.
Thank you.
I am speaking to you from the Cabinet Room at 10 Downing Street. This morning, the British ambassador in Berlin handed the German government a final note stating that unless we heard from them by 11 o'clock, that they were prepared at once to withdraw their troops from Poland, a state of war would exist between us. I have to tell you now that no such undertaking has been received, and that consequently this country is at war with Germany.
Well, a huge thank you to Talking Scarlet's team from Strictly Murdercast 2017, and thank you so much for letting us come along. Now, after I recorded that interview, I got the opportunity to actually go and see the play. Now, incredibly, I was sat right next to the director all the way through. And it was really good to talk to him, you know, the build up to it and how he was feeling, as well as he was trying to imagine what they were feeling, because they'd had a 10-day break between the last place that they'd been at and the current one. And it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's been a long while since I've sat through a play. I've got to say that when you're on benefits, you don't get much opportunity to go to plays. But I absolutely loved it. And as Sam said in his interview, there are lots of moments there which are just backgrounded with music or sounds and action going on, which is very much like watching a film rather than going to see a play where there's lots of talking. And I will say that the standout for me was Andrew, as I expected it to be. I absolutely loved his character, Joseph. Absolutely, as I expected. And to be honest with you, as I'd read the play through already, Brian Capron's voice is so well known that I could hear him saying the words when I was reading the play, and it was nice to see it in action on the stage as well. So that is our interview, and as we say, what secret is worth dying for? Well, you'll have to go along to the play and find out for yourself. It is touring across our areas in different locations, and of course on Chesil Radio we'll keep you updated as we're getting a little bit closer to those dates in the future. Once again, a big thank you to Talking Scarlet, Strictly Murder cast, and particularly the director, Sam Clemens.